and how I suffered seizures, and I was dealing with anxiety from the whole thing and everything like that. If you guys haven't, go to that video and check it out. I'll go ahead and link the video up here or up here. I don't really know where it falls, but I'll go ahead and link that video, so check it out. But today I'm just going to be giving an update, because in my last video I promised that I will, so here it is. Let's get into the video. So as some of you know, I had my daughter in November of last year, and 5 days after I had my daughter, I had a really bad migraine, and I experienced a seizure at home, went to the hospital, and then I experienced another seizure in the emergency room. I was dealing with I got diagnosed with preeclampsia. The seizures were categorized as I had 2 eclamptic seizures, and I talked about all that in the other video, but I just kind of wanted to give a recap for some of the people who haven't seen it. And what preeclampsia is just elevated blood pressure. I was dealing with blood pressure issues from giving birth, and normally preeclampsia is detected before you even give birth, and to cure it you give birth, but in some cases, which is rare, you experience it after you have your baby, and that was my case. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of information about what happened after that, because I think when I left off on the video I was talking about the current state I was in. I was on anxiety meds, I was on high blood pressure meds, also in therapy for the events that happened. So an update on the anxiety meds: I am no longer on anxiety medication. Thank God for that, because I hate medicine. I just hate medicine in general. One thing I want to point out, sorry if the background is different. I know you guys are used to my backdrop when I do sit down videos and everything like that, but I'm in the process of moving. So I'm not, all of my stuff is in storage, so bear with me while I get these videos out for you. I stopped taking anxiety meds. I took myself off them. When I noticed that I stopped having anxiety attacks, that's when I stopped taking them. I would not recommend anyone to take themselves off of meds, but like I said, I don't like medication, so when I noticed a change within myself, I stopped taking them. I'm not gonna lie, I prayed a lot for God to take my anxiety away, because it was just something that I was dealing with that was hindering a lot for me with my daily life, and no one wants to deal with that. So the meds, along with, I would say what helped me get off the meds too, was therapy. I talked it out. My therapist was really great about helping me talk through the problems, so I was able to do that. So I took myself off the meds and I was fine. I have not had an anxiety attack since. I have not dealt with any of the symptoms, and so thank God for that. I'm grateful. The next big thing is I have not had any more seizures. After my second seizure that I experienced in the emergency room, I have not had any more seizures. I'm so thankful for that, because the seizures had a big impact on my body. Anybody who experienced seizures, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And what a seizure is, I want to talk about that as well. You have neurons that fire off in your brain, and so how it works is when your neurons fire off, they fire off like, so you think of your hand clapping, it fires off like that. So when you have a seizure, it goes like, or it stalls, and it's like, and when there's no oxygen to the brain, that's when your body seizes, because it's not a normal, it's not firing off as it should. And so that's what happened to me. And to prevent having seizures, I was on multiple medications, and I was on multiple medications because we were trying to figure out which one worked for me. There was one particular med, and I'm gonna put all of the names here, like up here some, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So you guys can, if you're experiencing preeclampsia or anything like that, you can read up on the meds. I know everything that they gave me, I researched it. Or I asked questions, because I'm very big on that. As I was taking was nifedipine and hydralazine. The reason why I remember nifedipine was because when they first introduced nifedipine to me, they just gave it to me by itself. Now, nifedipine is a very powerful blood pressure med, and a lot of people that probably experience preeclampsia are given it, and it helps. However, nifedipine has an adverse effect where it will increase your heart rate. And I was given the med, and my heart rate started racing so fast. And if you've ever been in a situation where your heart is racing, it's not fun. It's not fun. And it's like there's nothing that you can do with medicine, but it has to run its course. And so I was sitting there freaking out. Like, I had my dad turn off the lights, and like I didn't want anyone like moving, or they had to go and get an internist. And the internist came and she paired the nifedipine with the hydralazine. And what nifedipine did, they both are high blood pressure meds, but nifedipine sped my heart rate up and hydralazine slowed my heart rate. And so they balanced each other out, and it was perfect. And so I was on that. I think I had to take nifedipine once a day, and I had to take it with the hydralazine, and then I had to take the hydralazine again like a couple of hours later, like later in the day, because the nifedipine was an all-day med and the hydralazine just carried me for a couple of hours. But with the nifedipine continuing to make my heart race, I had to take a second hydralazine to carry me through the rest of the day, so that my heart rate wouldn't increase anymore. So I was on that for a couple of months. I want to give you guys like a very accurate picture. So I was on it from November. I was on those two meds for 4 months. I was on those meds for 4 months, from November to March, or a little bit late February, early March. I was on it, and I had to go to my primary care physician to start being weaned off of the meds. And so what he did was he told me to only take hydralazine once a day, and if I felt like I needed it, like if my blood pressure elevated, then to take it again. So I did that, and it didn't work. Whatever he told me to do, I don't remember exactly what he told me to do, but whatever he told me to do, it did not work. Back to Louisiana, I went on base, and I met with my physician, who was so great, and she took me off of the nifedipine, the one that was really doing everything. And that kind of made me nervous a little bit, because I didn't know if the hydralazine could keep my blood pressure low. But surprisingly, it did. I only took the hydralazine twice a day. Then she weaned me off to once a day. And then I remember I would go times without taking it, and my blood pressure would be fine. You know, I would go days without taking it, my blood pressure would be fine. And then finally, I was off of them completely. It took me 6 months to get over this whole thing. So I was off of the high blood pressure meds then, and I have not had anything. I'm not gonna say I haven't had any scares, because sometimes I have gone to the hospital or something and my blood pressure is elevated, or I've gone to the doctor's office and it's elevated, but it's not elevated because it's not controlled. Anything can trigger your blood pressure to go up. You could be nervous, you could have just walked a lot, or you know, anything. So what my doctor normally does is she'll take my blood pressure when I first get there, and then when I leave, and it's always normal by the time I leave, because you know, my blood pressure is controlled now. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. I have not had any more problems with my blood pressure. I can officially say that I am done with preeclampsia. I'm officially done with it. I beat it. Thank God that portion of my life is over. My health is not 100% back to the way it was. I feel like that's just because of birth. After you have a baby, your hormones are out of whack. You're dealing with that. As some of you know, I was dealing with postpartum depression. So, you know, all of those things triggered. But as far as my blood pressure, I have no problems with it as well. So if you are going through preeclampsia, if you experience the seizures, if you're dealing with the high blood pressure meds, please know that it does get better little by little, but it takes time. It takes time for your hormones to come back to the way that they were before you gave birth. You have to remember you carried a baby for 9 months, so that's 9 months that things are going haywire, and it takes probably just as much time for them to go back to normal. So know that it does get better, and there is hope if you are on high blood pressure meds. You will not be on high blood pressure meds your whole life. I don't know how many people told me that I would be dealing with high blood pressure for the rest of my life. I don't care even if you have family members that have high blood pressure. In some cases you do have high blood pressure, but you'll be fine. You'll beat it. You won't be dealing with it anymore. I was told that multiple times, and I'm fine. And I probably was starting to believe people at one point, but I wanted more so to beat that than to believe that I would. So, you know, I did everything that I needed to do. Like, I stuck with therapy. I watched what I ate. I watched, you know, a lot of things that I did so that I would not trigger it, or I would not get my blood pressure to raise or anything like that. I stuck with my meds. I took my meds exactly when I was supposed to take them. Even if you have to put a timer on your phone, make sure that you do that, because the medicine is aiding with, you know, making sure that everything goes back to normal. So I hope this video helped someone. I'm sorry that the update took a while. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to make sure that I was officially good before I came on here and gave you guys false hope. And I wasn't even better. But yes, if you're dealing with preeclampsia, it will get better. You'll be fine. Yeah, it's a traumatic experience, but it does get better with time, with prayer, and with consistency. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love all you guys. Welcome to the new subscribers. If you guys haven't, take a second and subscribe. And yeah, I'll be getting these videos out to you as fast as I can. Thank you guys.